I was able to get in the car and drive down to North Carolina and take my mom to lunch for the day. I'm just grateful to be able to be in an environment where I can afford to do that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. She didn't know it. She didn't know I was coming. I surprised her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was. I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. We're just going around the room, guys. If there's something that you're grateful for, you're thankful for.
I'm grateful. Good morning, everyone. Just grateful for being in the land of the living and getting another opportunity to just, make a difference in someone else's life. There are so many people that are really, hurting right now, and I'm just grateful to God for the things that I've been through, because I'm able to help someone else, to let them know, He helped me to make it. He'll help you to make it. Be encouraged. And I just always want to be a positive voice in someone's life. So I'm grateful because I have my health and I'm able to do that. That's a big deal to me, to be in my right mind and be able to encourage someone else. It's very important to me. So I'm just grateful just for the opportunity to speak into someone's life. I'm grateful. And thank you to the Dream Team, always, Linda, always.
Awesome. Thank you, Gemma.
I'm grateful this morning because, we coming up on a Mother's Day weekend. And, me and my mom I still have both my parents. And that's very fortunate. Now, I don't take it for granted because I know a lot of people my age, some of their parents have passed. So even my mom, my wife lost her mother maybe about 3 or 4 years ago. And painful thing, man. And, but we still have my mom here. And, I cherish my mom every year that a Mother's Day comes up, and my wife, and even I got a great grandmother that's still, Erica's grandmother, still here. So in her 90s. And so wow. I just cherish that. And I thank God for another Mother's Day. And also always call it my birthday because it was on Mother's Day of 2020 that I went to church as a Rex Undone. And went to the altar. And I only went because my wife told me, you going to church with me. I just came from a deployment. And she said, you got to go to church with me. And I was like, oh, Lord, here we go again. I'm just getting back. And I went to church. And I did not know from that day that my life changed that day that I went to church. And I've never been the same since. So that was my birth into the kingdom on 2020 is when I gave my life to the Lord. So this, every time Mother's Day comes up, is that reminder of when my whole life changed.
Not 2020.
I mean, not 2020, 2000. 2000.
2000.
Oh, I got saved again last week, if you didn't know that. But, yeah, I did that. But yeah, 2000. Yeah, 22 years.
2000. Oh, that's awesome, Tim. Awesome testimony.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I am just so grateful and thankful for God's love and faithfulness. I thank God for, where He has brought me from and what He is doing in my life and in the life of my family and loved ones. I'm thankful for this amazing group right here. I'm just thankful, all in all for, his loving and his kindness.
Amen. And
Amen.
I saw it's your birthday, Dr. Bowl. I saw that. Happy birthday.
My birthday.
Happy
It's
birthday.
my birthday. It's my birthday. Yes. Thanks, everyone.
That's awesome. Happy birthday.
Congratulations.
Wow, birthday, Mother's Day, all one weekend. Awesome.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, I'm thankful for the Lord and for everything that He does for me and that He allows me to do, even when I don't realize it. But also, I want to say that I'm thankful for this team, and I give you a reason. And there's a saying out there, you never want to be the smartest person in the room. And from the time that I from the time that I retired from the Air Force until the time that I joined the Dream Team, in my other job, I was always the, and I'm not saying, and this is not coming from an area of arrogance, but I was always the smartest person in the room. I was always the loudest person in the room, and that was because I was in charge of an office and I managed a lot of folks. And and when you're in that kind of environment, you live on what you know, but there's no growth, and there's no growth for you, and yeah, you may be helping other folks, but there's no inner growth for you. But when since I've joined the Dream Team, I'm no longer that person. I'm no longer the smartest person in the room. I'm no longer the loudest voice in the room, and I can now sit back and listen and learn and grow. And everybody needs that. And that's, for folks that, it doesn't really matter what age you are, whether you're young or old. I mean, I think people can realize what I'm saying, that you need to be a place where you can grow, where you can learn new things, where there's there's a lot of life, there's a lot of life left in you, and you don't want to just sit stagnant. And that's why I'm grateful that I'm a place where I'm with folks, like-minded folks. I can learn from all of you. Hopefully some of you can learn from me, and we can all grow together.
That's awesome, Jason.
Jason, I love that. That was great.
Yeah.
Amen.
I thank you for that too. This is Jasmine. Good morning, everyone.
Hey,
Happy
good
Mother's
morning.
Day.
Jasmine.
Hey, Jasmine.
Hey, Jasmine.
With Mother's Day being around, I'm going to say that I'm grateful to be a mother and be able to give life to people, because I know a lot of people are struggling with that. So I'm glad that God has blessed me in that capacity.
That's awesome.
Amen.
Good morning. This is Connie from
Congratulations.
Texas. Oh, sorry. Good morning.
Hey,
Happy
Connie.
Mother's
Come
Day
from
to
Texas.
everybody. Hi. Well, I'm just grateful that for these calls, because when I moved to Texas almost 2 years ago and started my business over from scratch, it was just daunting, just starting over. But God has just opened doors, and these calls just motivate me, listening to the newer agents and their excitement. It's catchy, and I'm just excited. Sometimes I just sit and listen, like Jason was saying, but I grow all the time. I learn something every single day. I've been blessed with wonderful mentors, and just with the trust that Rod put in me when I was in Virginia, Mike and Tara, just everybody. And, I never thought this is something I would be doing, but God knew. And I'm just so grateful for everyone and the way everybody collaborates and helps. It doesn't matter where we are, we share our knowledge freely. And I'm just so thankful for that. And then, of course, that my 2 young adult children, they're 24 and 27, live in Austin. And there was no question that they would be home for Mother's Day. And I was just, they made plans. They made the reservations.
Wow.
And it was like, oh, it does warm the mother's heart. And Rodney, doesn't matter how old you get, coming home and surprising your mom, that is awesome. I love that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, 1 or 2 more, then we're gonna shift gears. Anybody else? Well, I'm grateful for each and every one of you all. And man, this Dream Team has been amazing in my life. You guys just don't know, it's more of a blessing it is for me than I am to you. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And yeah, and I'm just grateful to have my mom still here. She lives with us. We care for her, but it's just a blessing to still have her in my life. So, amen. All right, guys. Well, let's shift gears, and then let's any wins. Let's hit some quick wins for the week, and then we're gonna jump right into some training here. 1 or 2 wins, 2 or 3 wins.
I showed a house yesterday to my buyers, my neighbors that were waiting to list their house. And they're like, Connie, let's just go ahead and put the offer in and let's list the house by next week. I was like, oh, okay. So this is my first listing in Texas. I'm very excited.
Woo,
and it's
all
a
right.
big one.
Awesome,
And
Connie.
it's a big one.
Big one. All right. Good, good.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I got clear to close yesterday on my buyer.
Boom.
Nice.
Awesome.
Right. Awesome. Got my second $1 million referral on yesterday.
Nice.
It's a listing. Yep. So about 1.2, maybe 1.3 million. Yep. So excited about that one
That's a
coming
great
soon.
referral.
Yeah.
Yes.
Congratulations, Rod. Hey, you're in the million. That's where you operate at, man.
I love it.
That's where you operate. This where you feel comfortable. So
Yeah.
I have a listing appointment that I'm gonna get the listing today at 1 p.m.
Nice.
And the house is worth
Nice.
about 600,000, and
Mm.
they are moving up to a little over $1 million.
Ooh, nice.
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 Congratulations.
Awesome, Bryson.
Hey, and I'm not gonna have a problem winning a bid because they're looking to pay almost all cash.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Wow, that's awesome.
Nice.
Congrats, Bryson. Man, Bryce is on fire, bro. Bryce is coming up, but it hadn't been his first year yet with EXP and really in real estate, and he's killing it.
He's defying all odds.
Absolutely.
That's right. That's right.
Any
That's
other
good.
I'll go,
Yes,
it's Jasmine.
Mhm.
Sorry. I had been thinking about shutting my team down, and then yesterday I looked in. One of my agents has 600 contracts, who's actually really been hard to put into work. So
Oh wow. That's
wow.
awesome. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, don't shut it down yet.
yeah, that changes things.
Right.
Do that.
Yeah. Sometimes you can be praying on things like, God, just show me, give me some kind of sign, tell me. Then boom, there it is.
Hey guys, I'm that agent, and we should be having 2 more under contract this weekend, so we should be at 8.
Fine.
Wow.
Oh, he was on here.
Oh wow. That is awesome.
That's awesome.
And you guys are in the Richmond area, Richmond market?
Yes.
That's awesome, Twan. Congratulations. 8. Ooh, guys, he's raised the bar.
We'd love to be back at EXP. Just throwing it out there.
Hey, all right. We'll welcome you all with open arms. Y'all still family. Y'all still family. It's all good. Only temporary. Yeah. That's awesome, Twan. He's raised the bar, guys. 8 under contract at one time. What's up?
Wow.
Come on, Dream Team. We got
to step it up. Amazing.
We got to step it up.
All right, Twan putting on the next class, telling us how he manages all of that at one time. Boom. Tell me they're all listings on majority.
Ooh. Yeah. Ooh. Any other wins, guys?
That's awesome.
I say my listing went under contract. We waited for the weekend, but the offer that we accepted was 25,000 over list price, all cash, no contingencies. So
ooh. All cash, no contingencies. Nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Wow.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Awesome.
That is awesome.
All right. Any other wins, guys, from this week? Anything good going on?
Yeah, this is Tim. Hey, so this week I been pretty busy. We're out doing some showings. I got did a listing appointment with a family. They wanna move from King George up this way, closer, and they want to sell their home and buy another house. And then I was up with a new couple yesterday, buyers, and guys, a police officer, PG County. And but they want to live over here in King George, so I was out with them yesterday, and they're looking at putting an offer on a home. And then I got another client that I had out this week that she wants to buy land, and we were this was the one I was telling you about earlier this week, that they wanted to buy some land, but the parcel, we found out with the engineer that the land was about 400 feet too small, because it just changed the ordinance 1 April. So now we're trying to buy the land next to it. So we're in negotiation with the people that own the land next door, because they bought their land, so they could build on theirs too. So neither one of both of them got a piece of land they can't build on. So we're trying to work it out, and hopefully we can acquire the other piece of land doing that. So yeah, and then yesterday I was at the NAR convention. I popped in there, some good classes on social media and different things that's going on in the market, the home market right now, and met some great folks, man. Some agents, and I had one agent was funny. She came to me, we were talking, and she said, "Why are you with Exp Realty?" You know, she had to kind of like, I said, "Why not?" She said, "And don't tell me because it's 100%. I said, "It don't have nothing to do with 100%. I said, there's a couple of things. I said, we got some stock and some revenue share. And I gave her about a 30-second commercial. And then she was like, "Oh, okay." I said, "Okay, me and you need to talk." So we exchanged information, and me and her going to talk. And then I happened to be sitting beside, I was sitting in a presentation. I actually turned to the lady beside me and start talking to her, asking some questions. "How long have you been in real estate?" And she's actually the next president of the Maryland Association of Realtors. And so me and her had a real good conversation, changed information. So really got to make some great connections. And I met the Utah broker who David Harbour bought in like 6 years ago. He met at a NAR conference. He's the guy that opened up Utah. Me and him was getting shoe shine together. So just made some great relationships with some folks there. So yeah, it was a good week.
Good
Awesome.
stuff.
That's
Yeah,
wonderful.
that's great, man. I went up on Wednesday
You
with
know, that's
Guy
okay.
Allen and David Harbour. Yeah, Tim, I was following. We went straight up from Brickyard from the office. I followed Guy up, and I completely forgot to get in touch with you. So sorry.
No, no worries. No, I came up there Wednesday, but I was a little bit late. I see people coming out. I said, "You know what? I'm gonna just come back tomorrow."
Gotcha. Yeah,
I came through that Wednesday. Yeah.
Yeah, David. I was with David Harbour, Guy Allen, and Guy knows everybody. So
He does. That's what I do when I go events like that. I say, "You know Guy Allen?" They be like, "Oh yeah, okay."
yeah. All right, guys. Any quick kudos? Anybody want to thank?
Happy birthday, Dr. Bola.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Birthday.
Good morning, this is Linda. I want to thank Esther for going out for me yesterday at the last minute. I want to say happy Mother's Day to everyone. I have a couple of wins this week. I have a listing appointment today. I have a property that had an appraisal gap, but the lender came back yesterday and said, "Hey, the appraisal is waived." I'm so grateful to that. And I picked up a couple of buyers this week as well.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Linda.
Congrats. Wow. That's
Do
awesome.
tell us, how did they waive that appraisal?
The buyer must have put more money down. Usually when the buyer puts more money down, the appraisal can be waived.
Oh, wow.
Didn't know
Marcella,
that.
put
See,
down at
learn
least
something new.
20%.
Good to know.
Yes.
Wow.
Marcella, that number is 20%, just so you know.
Oh, they had to put 20% down.
In order to waive appraisal, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, nice.
Did not know that, but that's good to know.
That's awesome.
I want to come right behind Linda to say thank you so much for late night, very early morning emails, text messages, phone calls. So I just want to say that always to my mentor, Linda. Everyone knows she's awesome, so I just wanted to say that. Had to Rod, just being there with a little bit of a complicated contract, but so thank you so much to both of you. I really appreciate it. And the dream team always.
Absolutely.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir. Oh, yes, absolutely. Yes. Thank you, my
Yeah.
I wanted to just say, this is a small win, but it's a big win to me. I had lost contact with a military family, and I just didn't know what was going on with them. Well, finally, it's a Marine. He reached out to me. He said, "I apologize. I haven't gotten back to you. I was out in the desert." I said, "Oh, well, thank you for your service." So, so back in touch with my family. I lost, that kind of hurt, been already working with them and you know, when you lose track, or lose, you know, contact with a client. So, you know, we're back in touch. So it's a big win
That's
for me.
awesome. Good, good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. All right, guys. So we're going to shift gears here, talk about a topic that Dream Team was talking about this earlier this week. We were talking about becoming an expert negotiator, but not in the sense that everybody is kind of accustomed to with the real estate world, you know, becoming an expert negotiator with your contracts and negotiating deals and things like that. But we were talking about the first negotiation kind of starts with you. Negotiating, becoming an expert negotiator with the you of you. Basically making the best choices, making the right choices, negotiating with that side of you that doesn't want to get up early, doesn't want to prospect, doesn't want to go to work. So becoming that expert negotiator, we were talking about the best version of you versus the less best version of you. How many of y'all want to live out the best version of you? Anybody ever, you think about that? You get up, you're saying, I want to experience the best version of me. Anybody else want to live out the best version of you?
Yes.
So we're talking about the best version of you versus the less best version of you. And the less best version of you is always trying to negotiate with the best version of you to keep you broke, keep you at a lower standard, keep you comfortable, keep you kind of less than what you can be. So we want to talk about that, guys. And so, you know, I have written down, says you're negotiating with the most powerful opponent who knows everything about you. That this is the most powerful woman. They know everything about you, your likes, your dislikes, your strengths, your weaknesses, your pleasures, your desires. This is the less best version of you versus the best version of you. Y'all with me? Y'all good?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Let's see, should I share my screen? So the first one, guys, if you can imagine the best version of you, you're eating healthy, and I'm gonna come back to business in a second. You're eating healthy, you know, less sugar, less sweets. You're exercising at least 3 times a week. You're going to bed early. You're getting up, having enough sleep, less caffeine. That's the best version of you when it comes to health, right? You're eating healthy, you're doing it, you're making good choices. That's the best version of you. You know, family time, you know, you're smiling, you're laughing more, you're spending quality time with family, you're organized at home, everything's organized, neat, your closets, your everything, guys, your trunk, your car, everything's neat and organized.
Who is that?
Yeah, I know, right?
Who is that?
Okay, who's that person?
Everything's done. You know, you're talking, you're spending time. You know, I love what we talked about last week. You know, the look up movement when you're out to dinner and with your family. You're not down on your phone texting. You're looking up, you know, in their eyes. And when it comes to business, you know, everybody's, you know, the best version of you pays your taxes quarterly. You know, you're staying on top of your taxes. You're saving all kind of money. You're saving more than 10% of your money. You know, you're not being lazy. You're making your calls. You're treating the business like a business. You know, you're disciplined to your schedule every single day. You know, you got your goals written down. You reviewed your goals. So I'm talking about the best version of you, right? You know, you've created your dream board. You have an awesome, amazing, powerful listing presentation. You know your scripts, your dialogues. You know what to say when you go into your listing appointments. You know, you have an accountability partner, but more importantly, you're being accountable to them every single day. So, but what happens is the less best version of you comes in negotiating. Anybody had to negotiate this morning of getting up early? So what we doing right now?
Stop talking about me. Stop talking about me.
After Cinco de Mayo, yes.
Cinco de Mayo.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get off my toes.
Oh man. So we're talking about, and what we're doing, guys, is creating awareness. You got to be aware of this that is happening. There's a negotiation that takes place. But you gotta, and now that you're aware of it, this negotiation, now you only got a couple of seconds, because that less best version of you, I mean, it's that person's an expert negotiator. They've been rolling with you all your life. They are a prosecuting attorney and they're good at it. So what do we have to do, guys? What do we have to do to become that best version of you, to win out, to be that defense attorney? Right now you have a weak defense attorney when it comes to negotiating, when it comes to, prospecting, time blocking, making those calls, making those contacts. Anybody have a weak defense attorney? Your defense attorney could be built up a little bit stronger, because the less version of you is telling you, just let's scroll on Facebook a little bit. Let's look at a couple of TikToks that lead to another TikTok. Is that what they call those little short videos? Reels, yeah.
Yeah, I learned that.
You go from reel to reel to reel to reel, and you're scrolling. But that's the negotiation that takes place when you should be doing money-making activities. Are you showing up every day, putting in work? Are you putting in 8 hours like you did back in the day when you were on your job? So let's talk about it, guys. Let's talk about, the best version of you versus the less best version of you. Anybody want to step out there? Any areas that you're struggling with that negotiations?
I want to go. This is Jasmine. Goodness.
Oh, Jasmine.
Y'all my toes today too, Joy. We must be standing next to each other.
Let me get my pad.
But Rod, no, thank you for saying that. I literally was not about to go to a closing because I said they got it. This is their second house. But you know what? The best version of Jasmine will show up for everything. So I'm on my way.
Yes, that's awesome. You never know what referrals you're gonna get. They're gonna be so happy to see you come there with a nice gift. I like to bring my gifts to them and gift card and just see the smile on their face, take pictures, and man, that might be a couple of new clients for you just by showing up. Anybody else on negotiations where you seem to be kind of losing out in negotiating?
Yeah, and just yesterday, I was out with a like I said, with a couple yesterday, and I met the couple, and we hadn't met in personally online. They were actually a lead, and but me and the family, we kept kind of missing each other as far as connecting for showings, and the person on the other line, they're younger couple, so they like to text a lot, and them texts sounded kind of inflammatory to me. So I was getting a little. I don't know if you ever heard somebody with you can feel their emotion through a text. Well, I thought I sent you. I'm like, you don't know me like that. And I was starting to think, I'm about to let them go by the wayside. You know what I'm saying? And maybe just get a showing service to show them the property or whatever. But I said, no, Tim, and just go dress down. I said, but that's not how you are. You dress up, you look your best. Yeah, I can probably show up in jeans and a shirt. And ain't nothing wrong with that. But it just sometimes when I first meet people, I always try to dress at a standard. And if I got to pare it down after that, but I want to bring my best. Like if they're a $200,000 client or they're $1 million client, I'm bringing my A game when I go out there. So even though I said, let me dress down, I said, no, I'm not dressing down. I'm bringing my A game. So I came out there and met with them, sweetest couple. They brought their mother-in-law out there and we connected real well. And I even got to show them a little bit more than they were looking for and actually found the perfect home for them. But the thing is, I set out to say that, at first I was just going to just kind of let it down. Like, they seem like they ain't, jiving with me right. So right now I'm just going to show up, show them a house. And if they like it, they like it. They don't. But I said, that's not how you roll, Tim. That's not your brand. When you come, you bring it. And when they saw me and their whole, countenance changed, very so much respect. Mr. Neil, Mr. Tim, thank you so much. But that's what you got to bring. You just can't just show up any kind of way. So wherever you go, I try to show up as the best version of me. And sometimes I try to pare that down. And that's just one area that I try to stay on top of, but it's other areas that, as you mentioned, I got to work on. I got a lot of work to do. If it was a prosecutor here, I'd be in an orange jumpsuit right now. I'm just going to tell you the truth. So.
Good. I think Tina has her hand raised. Thanks, Tina.
Yes, Good morning, everybody. I
Morning.
just wanted
Good
to, I'm
morning.
gonna try to make this as short as possible. But anyway, so my best friend just got back from Dubai, and she gave me some things that she had learned while she was on a trip. And essentially, it was about trust and how over the years the enemy tells us not to trust different people, and sometimes it's the Holy Spirit, of course. But I learned from her how guarded I've gotten, how I've listened to the enemy so long and not be free to just talk and conversate and be engaging with other people. So so that was one of my takeaways from yesterday, and kind of getting back to the basics and really engage with people and talk to them, and and just see where they're coming from and see how I can help them on my journey.
That's good, Tina. Wow. Thank you for sharing that.
Thanks.
Any other areas, guys? What about morning routine? How are you doing with negotiating morning routine, getting up, nailing your morning, getting up early, your goals, your affirmations, your prayer time, that quiet meditation time, preparation, planning your day? Are you anybody losing out in negotiations with that? You have every intent to do it, but that little voice comes and said, just snooze a little bit, stay in the bed just a little bit longer.
Yeah, that's happening with me. I'll see the clock at 4:30 and I'm up ready to go. But I'm like, no, let me go back to bed. And I have not put my lead generation list together. So I'm having a tough time with negotiating with myself.
Yeah. So now that you're aware of it, you just got to do it. Any other advice? You just got to do it. You got to plan it out the night before, have everything ready to go, and just do it. What other areas, guys? Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to add something. When you're negotiating, and kind of going back to what Tim said about things that basically where he will not negotiate. You have to turn your negotiations into, something that you're not going to, that's not up for debate or question. And as an HR director, and I used to have meetings with the union all the time. When you go into a negotiation, if you're going in and there's something that you're actually going to talk about, then that means that the outcome is in doubt. So
wow,
I would say to my staff, we'll go talk to the union, but this is not going to happen. So basically, and for as a football analogy, we're going to play on their side of the field. We're playing on their side of the 50. We're not playing on our side of the 50. So take those negotiations, and those things in life that you think, well, as you're saying, Rod, in your analogy, I might do this, I might not do that. Well, now it's in doubt. Tim said, if I'm going to go out to meet a customer, I'm going out, I'm giving my A game.
Yeah.
That's the way it's got to be for everything. Until you take those things that you in your mind want to negotiate and take those and turn those into things that you will not negotiate, then having a debate about it is kind of pointless, because some days you're going to win and some days you're going to lose.
That's good. Wow, that's good, Jason.
Yeah, thanks, Jason.
So what about, and I like how you say those things are not negotiable, non-negotiables. Guys, in our business, prospecting, lead generation is non-negotiable. It's not negotiable. It's like, I don't know what has happened to our industry where we think we can just do a lot of busy stuff or get so busy with those buyers and clients that we're not continually prospecting. Let's talk about that, guys. Why are we losing negotiations with time blocking, having a schedule for prospecting? That's the lifeblood of our business. Why are we losing? Why are we losing the battle? Anybody? I just want to open up anybody. What's getting in your way? What's getting in the way of prospecting?
I think it still comes back to mindset. Because even when you get to a point where you know what you're supposed to do and you still don't do it, I don't know. It's hard to explain. The way I describe it again is self-sabotage, because you know what you're supposed to be doing, you're not doing it, and you know where your business is going to go by not doing it, because those are the non-negotiables. Those, you need to prospect, you need to go on appointments, listings or showings, you need to write contracts and negotiate deals, and you need to close. Those are, that's it. Everything else will fall in place if you do those things, and you know it and still don't do it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I think this maybe my opinion. Most people aren't extroverts, I guess you would say. Most people are kind of introverted, or they kind of reserved. And we're in sales. Bottom line, what do most people say? I don't want to be the salesman, but we sell houses, right?
Right.
I don't like, who likes salesmen? Raise your hand, you like salesmen. Nobody likes salesmen. Nobody calling them, trying to sell them. You know, even if they are looking for a house, sometimes people want to do it on their own terms. And when we call people, we have to ask questions. We have to have a conversation with people. And sometimes I don't even want to have a conversation with people that I already got under contract. We're under contract, and they send me a text. I'm like, Lord, okay, I got to call them. So you got to prepare yourself. It's a mental struggle for most people to have to pick up the phone, call the person, and then have a conversation. Because the conversation could be short or it could be long. It can start opening up other questions and other things, and you're calling. So you have to be mentally prepared, as myself just alluded to, that you know, you got to have the right mindset, because if you don't prepare yourself, it's kind of hard to sit down and get ready. It's like sometimes to call my, you know, family members or some things. I gotta say, okay, let me sit down, let me think about what I'm going to talk about, and go through the drill. Because when you call a client and you're doing you know, prospecting, and I'm just saying, picking up the phone. Okay, I understand Facebook, social media, sending out this, that, the other, but I'm talking about picking up the phone, talking to another voice on the other side. The other voice on the other side, they're not following your script. Okay, they got things going on in their life. So you have to ask them questions. You have to try to get them to a point where you can either get an appointment, that you can go out, maybe you know, see where they at, see their needs, find out what they're looking for. And all that takes time. It takes some, you know, negotiation. It takes some what you call it, just communication skills, you know. So it's going to take some time, and you may talk to two people, and after that you may feel drained, like, Lord, I didn't want to go through all that. But that's what we have to do, and that's something that you got to mentally prepare yourself for, that you got to, like you said, put as a non-negotiable, and something you have to do. Do I do it all the time? No. Do I'm a type of person that I can talk to anybody. I can pick up the phone and call, but sometimes I just don't feel like picking up the phone and talk to nobody right now, because I'm working on this. And I know if I get engaged in this conversation, I'm probably not going to finish the other things I have to do. So it's one of those things where you have to put it down in, but sometimes it's a forcing function where you have to do it. And once you start making the first couple calls, it becomes a lot easier. And you have to, but you have to do it. So there's no magic bullet, because everybody's different. Everybody's made up different, and everybody has a communication skill that's different. So it's really something you got to look within yourself. Like you said, Rod, negotiate within yourself, that this is something I have to do. And you got to figure out what that is that's going to make you perform that action over and over and over. And it's redundant, it's mundane, but you have to do it.
Yeah.
Can I add to what Tim just said? So Tim, you mentioned that we sell houses, right?
Yes.
And I had a friend that put it to me in a different perspective. He said, we don't sell houses, we actually sell trust. Right?
Nice.
Because regardless of whether we're working with a seller, a buyer, investor, whoever, we have to sell them on us. They have to believe in us, that we're capable enough to handle that transaction for them and guide them all the way through that process, right? So that's the one thing I wanted to add to what you were saying. But
I like that.
For me, I believe it comes down to me being comfortable with me not performing those things that I set out to perform, right? because
Yeah.
the pain of me sitting still and not performing is not greater than the pain of me actually going and doing the work.
Ooh.
And most of us, we will avoid the greater pain.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I am with it. I know it, I understand it, and I just have to, basically just ante up and just deal with it.
Yeah, yeah.
I
That's
was
good,
going
Lawrence. You nailed it, brother.
to add on to what Lawrence was saying. It's kind of what I was going to say. You got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Nobody likes to lead gen, but you have to, start building up that 21-day habit, if you will. And then next thing you know, it becomes natural. So once again, be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And obviously you have to lead gen, one, but the biggest takeaway is that when you take in consideration that lead gen, obviously you're not going to know the outcome, but ultimately that's what's going to drive your business. And I lost my point, but once again, start getting comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Or you put systems in place to get leads coming in where you're not making the calls. You're not, calling expires FISBOs is not one of my favorite things. And I do okay in the business because I found other ways. I like my sphere of influence. I like my dad. I like those people that I've already closed transactions with, and those people that I have that know, like, and trust relationship with. My sphere, my friends, my family. So, but a lot of us are not calling our sphere. Mm-hmm. We're not calling our database. There's not a lot of pain involved in that, but that we're losing out on negotiations. Like, nah, you ain't got to do that. Wait on them to call you. They'll call you when they want.
Yeah, but Rod, in reference to that, what if you feel like you don't want to be a nuisance?
I know. That's that voice. That's that prosecutor telling you that. You don't be a nuisance. You a nuisance. You bothering them. Again, you got to win the negotiation. The best version of you knows that, you see, you got to get more systematic. I got to call these people. This is part of my job to contact them. Take emotions out of it. Take feelings out of it. Treat your business like a business. Be a professional. I have to stay in contact with my people every month or every quarter. I got to call them just to check on them, see how they're doing. See, it's shifting the mindset to, like, I'm not calling to get business from them. I'm calling to just check on them. Hey, hello, how you doing? Just wanted to check on you guys. Are you enjoying the house? Oh, by the way, keep me in mind if you hear anybody talking about real estate. I'll take, I'll take great care of them. You know what I'm saying? So it's the shifting of the mindset of how you see it. Does that help, Linda? It might not be Linda. Linda's a prospecting queen.
I like what Jason said too. Like, you really have to make it a non-negotiable. Like, it's not negotiable. You have to do it regardless of how you feel, what you think. And it needs to be consistent. Even, I guess, if you decide you're not going to do 5 days a week, then do 4 days a week or 3 days a week. But whatever it is, it needs to be consistent. If you're going to do 3 days, you're going to do 4 days, then do every 3 days a week. Those, the times that you set forth, it has to be non-negotiable. And I think the other thing, Tim hit the nail on the head too. It's not really a problem once you start doing it. It's getting started. Once you get started, then you can just go, because it's making that first call. But once you go, you start calling, then you fall right into routine and you're like, all right, I'm just going to keep going until I get a yes. Yeah. So, I don't know. It's just like you said, negotiating with yourself. How do you win those negotiations and do it consistently? It has to become a habit. Like, everything that everyone has said is true.
It's got to become a habit. That's like Marcella and Cam said, you got to develop that habit, that 21-day habit. First, put it on your schedule, and you gotta do it. You got to get an accountability partner, put some leverage on it. That's why an accountability partner is so important. So you can put a little bit of leverage on it. Like, hey, this is what I did today. I got to be accountable to somebody that between this time and this time, I made calls, I made contacts. That's going to help you build that habit of prospecting. Our business guys, you don't have enough business because you're not having enough conversations. That's what it comes down to, bottom line. Or you're not marketing yourself enough. You're not putting yourself out there. You're not branding yourself to get the leads coming in. You don't have sources of leads coming in. Like I'm signed up with Veterans United. These things pop up on my phone every day. I can kind of just pick, choose, and reviews the ones that I want. Op City. So have those leads coming in, but I also prospect. I'm always marketing. I'm putting myself out there to have multiple leads coming in from different places. And again, if putting systems in place, if you want to have a VA make calls for you, somebody else making the calls for you, but that costs money. But what does it cost to be out and about handing out your business cards, meeting people, contacting people, calling up contractors, calling up investors? Y'all heard me say before, wholesalers got more deals than they can handle. But anybody else? Hey, I see Jimmy. Morning, Jimmy.
Good morning.
I wasn't listening more today, and because I've got a lot of things I'm doing in the background. I really didn't want to say anything, but my input on that is, and this is the negotiation that I do with myself a lot of the times. And it has nothing to do with, going out there and knocking on doors and making phone calls. All those things are easy stuff for me. But my biggest negotiation that I have to do, a lot of the things that is a challenge for me, is the fact that I've got to convince myself that I should do it. I don't need to, but I should do it. And I think a lot of people on this call is subliminally, you might not think of it, but that's actually one of those things that happen. That you get to a place that if you believe, or not just believe, that you're comfortable. You know that life is good. You know that you don't need to do this. So how do you motivate yourself to say, okay, let me go and do it? That's actually one of it's a pretty heavy burden for me. And I know we record. So this is a point. I'm just bearing myself open, and I'm not being arrogant. And I'm not being, I'm actually being very open and being humble about me sharing this part, because it's a challenge for me constantly on a daily basis to say, let me go and help another client. I don't need it. I don't need to. And I'm not being arrogant. And I think that's at times the biggest thing. Because sometimes I say to myself, I just want to sit down and spend time. No, not even going on a date with my wife. Just want to sit down there and be with her. Just want to go out and just do something for me. Because it's like, I'm like, how much money can I spend? I'm good. How much money so I'm good. But I've got to convince myself that it's not about me. And that's the sacrifice part for me every single day. That I've got to, okay, let me go help this family. Because I don't say that it's not for me, it's not money. It's not money any longer. I'm blessed. I'm thankful to God for that. And I think that's subliminally a lot of us in this business. Rod, team, you guys have just, Linda, every one of you guys on there, Lawrence, every one of you guys on there, Rodney, you guys are super successful. Everybody in here. But most of you guys have been able to master and be able to negotiate with yourself and put yourself in a better position and say, you know what? It's not about me. And that's my struggle, that you're able to overcome. And that's why I always if you know the theme of the kind of things that I say, because those are the things that will push me to say, okay, let me go and do the work. Because it's very easy for me to look at my bank account and be like, I'm taking a 2-year sabbatical. I don't need to do this, but you've got to convince yourself that it's bigger than you. So that's the negotiation that I do all the time, that, oh gosh, let me not be selfish. Let me think of, what can I make bigger than me? What is it that I can focus on that will deny me and say, it's not about me. It's what else can I do?
That's right.
Because it's a serious struggle for me. That's the reason why sometimes if someone calls me and say, Jimmy, and again, that's why it doesn't matter to me whether someone calls me and say, okay, I need your help to buy $100,000 investment, or I need a $20 million investment. Yeah, my affinity or my excitement does not go up or go down because of the dollar amount. I just got to convince myself and negotiate with Jimmy that, okay, should Jimmy go and do this or not?
Yeah.
And I've got to consistently do that. And so if
That's
you're
good.
if you're no way for me to just get better at that, because I do this with myself all the time. So
No,
yeah.
I feel you, Jimmy. And I think all of us that are like that at a certain level. You said something. A lot of us is just so comfortable. We're comfortable at high levels and even low levels, where some of you all are. Yeah, I don't know. You're comfortable with having just $1,000 in your bank account, or $800, or you're watching your, you have to be so careful with your ATM card. You're nervous going to the ATM. You're nervous swiping your card. Anybody been there? But everybody, you got to get out of your comfort zone. You're comfortable because you got some money coming in. You got a roof over your head. But guys, what's your why? And when Jimmy was talking, I just thought about, it made me think about, what is your why?
That's what I was thinking about.
Like yesterday, I was out previewing a house, guys. I'm a multiple high six-figure agent, but I'm working with a young Marine couple that's in California trying to move here, approved up to 400,000. I'm outside of a little house, not even 2,000 square feet, with $100,000 Mercedes. You know what I'm saying? But it's more about service to me. It's not about what I'm going to make on that. I don't need it, but it's about service. So that kind of goes in line with Jimmy. Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, because I was thinking the same thing. The why, and you got to have something that's going to push you to do what you do. Because a lot of times when people are working in a business and they lose that passion or that fire, it's hard for them to give it their all. And you got to have a reason and a why for why you're doing what you do in that. And and that's why I think it's so important. It's one, when you first a lot of people get into real estate, and it's okay, I got to make the money. Because guess what? When you switch over, whether you're full-time or part-time, you're doing it with the goal. And intention a lot of times is initially is, people want to make money, they want to help people and things like that. But once you start getting beyond that and money starts to flow in and things like that, you have to raise that why, that same why that got you going, where I just want to go out. I need to make money because I got to feast the family. I got to pay my bills. I want to get debt free. I want to get this. But now that you're debt free and you get bills paid and you have money coming in, now you can go on a vacation. Now you can stop eating off the 2 for $20 meal, as Rod always says. You know what I'm saying? Then you start to relax and pare down. Then you got to raise that why. You got to change that same why that got you there. It's not going to get you to the next level. You have to change it. You have to find something within yourself. Say, I have to do this because now I want to be able to be a charitable giver. I want to open up a foundation. If I want to see something where I want to start giving to other people. Now I have the money that I could do some philanthropy work or something else that's beyond. My needs are met. How can I meet the needs of others? We as Christians, that's what we want to do. We want to not just meet our needs, but we want to meet the needs of others. And that's what we do. And that's something that could drive you beyond just you and your comfort level of your family. Because now you got somebody on the street that don't even know how they're going to keep their lights on, don't even know how they're going to eat, how their kids going to get school clothes or whatever. You can donate to that. And that things like that will help to spark something in you to help you to do what you do. Because you see the smiles on their face and how happy they are. Now that's something that says, wow, I'm really making an impact in this world. And I think all of us really want to make an impact in this world.
Yeah.
Hey, Rod.
Yes.
I've been in listen mode as well. But what keeps coming to me, one of the things I say every day is I serve, I don't sell.
Yeah.
And in that mode of service, I have seen God really open up opportunities. I have a listing coming up the 1st of next month. And I'm on the phone with the seller because we're making some repairs and stuff in the house right now. We've done a home inspection and we're going through the process of making repairs. And he says, you know what, the guy across the street, I have two more people I'm sending your way that want to list their houses. And this is in a man-gated community. Well, it's not far from me because I live in a gated community too. But it's just that, when your mindset is to serve, and they bought a house with me. And when we're negotiating repairs, I said, you know what, and the seller didn't want to do certain things. I said, you know what, I'll take care of it. And it cost me $1,000, to take care of some of those repairs. But the reality of it is that in the long run, the referrals I'm going to get, because she's a local dentist, that I'm going to get out of this is going to far outweigh that $1,000 that I spent on trying to do those repairs on that purchase that they made. So that commitment to service has to be something that's a non-negotiable, right? Because if we do things like that, it's the little things that in the long run are going to pay off. And those seeds that we're sowing into people's lives, I'm on my way to the hospital now. The closing I have on Monday, my buyer's wife just lost her baby. And I'm like, okay, you have to pivot. I had all kinds of stuff planned for the day, but I'm pivoting because I serve, right? And so, we're having to, do some things differently, because she, of course, can't be at the closing. So, just having a conversation and comforting them through this process and being that person. Okay, what do you need me to do? Right. So it's really that mindset. How can I be of service? And here's the deal. This couple, they're not believers. They're Muslim. And so my heart is coming from the place of how can I minister to them from this place of hurt and loss, And so we have to keep on that mindset of how can we serve in the best way that we can serve.
Wow, that's powerful.
That's powerful, Natasha.
Marcella, you said something earlier. It sounded like you were in the scriptures, Marcella. Some of my scholars, Bible scholars, say the good that I want to do, I don't do. But the evil that I don't want to do, that's what I do.
Yeah. Yep. Paul. That's Paul.
That's the Holy Spirit speaking through me.
Yes, that's Paul over in Romans. Yep. The good, guys, we want to do right. We know we're supposed to prospect. We know we're supposed to
right. It's true. We know better. We know better. We know it brings the results. We know without lead generation that you have no business. And we still don't do it consistently.
Hey, real quick, if I have the time, I want to give y'all a quick story about serving, talking about being a service. This week alone, it's Teacher Appreciation Week. So every time I know a lot of teachers, every time I see a teacher, I try to give a little gift. Well, I was at Subway, which is one of my favorite prospecting places, and I saw an art teacher. I said, okay, I'm about to pay for her meal. Gave my son the business card and told him to tell her, thank you for all you do. And we'd like to pay for your meal. Everything comes up, she's thankful and everything. I go to use my business card, which I've never used before, and it keeps declining.
Oh.
Now, that could have been a horrible moment, but of course I had, other means. So I'll pull out the other card, and I quickly realized the reason why I declined is because I didn't turn it on. Talk about doing these things that you're supposed to do. I got this business card that I'm trying to use for business and prospecting, and I can't use it because it's not on. So you can be a service, but you still have to be a service to yourself. You still got to do the things that you have to do. You can't procrastinate on yourself because these little small details mean so much sometimes. What if I had a potential buyer or a potential seller right then and there, but she saw it looked like I had a financial issue or financial hardship, and she's like, oh, I don't want to work with them because they're not going to do the best job on marketing my house or anything. But I'll tell you, but it goes tenfold because it comes around tenfold because I was also at a birthday party last night, and I saw there was another birthday party across the room. The lady was drinking a beer. It was her birthday. So I had the waitress, send another beer to her, just to say happy birthday, and also counted the amount of adults that were at the table and gave them, 8 cards as well. And, it came when when she did it, of course the whole table was thankful and everything. But the server didn't even charge me for the beer after I tried to pay for it. So, when you serve and you do things out of a mind that, it's not about the money, because me, I'm thinking it's 8 people, that's a $10 beer. I'm paying $1 and, 12 cents for, per click in a marketing standpoint. So you gotta think all the way outside the box, but you still have to serve. You still have to be of service, and you have to get your name out there. So, talking about the first year and, how you're hungry, you want to make this money and all that, the grind. And, that's how I'm thinking. That's how I'm always thinking.
Bryce, you said something, brother. You said something about the little things. We have to make sure that we have our stuff. Guys, it starts with those little things. Thank you for sharing that, Bryce. Those little things, you got to start winning as we get ready to wrap up here, but winning negotiations in little things. Maybe he had heard, hey, you need to activate this card, but he maybe put it off. I'll do it later. Just those little things. So how many little wins can you get today? How many little wins? Because a lot of times it's those little foxes that destroy the vine, guys. Those little bitty things that you're kind of letting go, you slipping on, you're like, you're losing out negotiations on little stuff. Maybe just drinking more water. No, I'm gonna get a soda. The negotiation between water and soda, or not putting down that cake and eating something healthy. So be aware today, conscious of little things that you can get wins on to start building up that muscle, building up that you're a defense attorney. So when that little voice comes, the less best version of you, suggest something to you, you'll build up that muscle where you make the right decision for your family, for you, to being a giver, to being a server, to being able to live your dreams, to achieve your why. You got to build up that muscle, guys. All right.
Hey, Rob, this is definitely on time because I see that it's raining back in DC and I'm at the airport about to fly back. And I told myself, I'm going to go ahead and be lazy today and just cuddle up and watch some TV with the family. And now listening to this call, I'm like, yeah, I got to go ahead and figure out how I'm going to win today. I appreciate it.
Awesome. I like that. Figure out how you're going to win today. Winning with the you. Yes.
Good morning. This is Corliss. I just want to thank Linda for inviting me to the call this morning because it was on point and talking about little wins. So thank you. This was a huge gem today.
Awesome. Welcome. You're welcome here. Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
This is Deborah.
Hey, Deborah.
Hi. I was invited by Fenice last week, and I finally got to meet my sister on Saturday of last week, and she fellowshiped with me in the park and my family praise and worship, and brought her mom, and we had a great time. And then come to find out, we got 2 Facebook friends in common. One being one of my clients, and I wanted to tell her yesterday, but I couldn't because I was holding it for the day. But she's friends with my best girlfriend, sister. And I'm getting ready to prep their house to put on the market, which I was going to use her anyway, but I didn't know she was friends with her sister and stuff. So now she knows.
Connections.
Thank you, Deborah.
Now she know, but back in the day, it took a village to raise a family. And her Facebook friend's mom was one of the village that helped raise me. We grew up in the same church together and everything. And so I'm using her to list the property since I'm not licensed in Virginia yet. And these calls motivate me because even though I've taken a commercial real estate assignment with Verizon, I don't want to get stuck in the rut. It's good money, but I'm on somebody else's time and stuff. And I need to stay motivated to get me focused on being back on my time. So everything that y'all said is a blessing. And my mom turned 93 next month. So and she still go work out every
Awesome.
Tuesday and Thursday. She don't let nothing get her down, the health issues or nothing. She motivates other people and try to uplift them as they going through their issues and stuff. And she's the strongest woman I've ever met, because I would have dug my own grave if I've been through some of the things that she's been through and stuff. So, but she's still kicking. And we going to MGM for hopefully during her birthday period, so we can hit some slots.
Okay.
But
all right.
Hey, Rod.
Oh, go ahead, Tim.
Hey, I just want to challenge everybody to make spending time with God and changing your mindset and getting directions from Him. Make that a non-negotiable each and every day.
Ooh, I love that. Guys, that's the secret to my success.
That's absolutely
That's the secret of my success.
That is the secret. You know?
Amen.
That's the only non-negotiable thing.
Non-negotiable.
Because if not for that, you know, the things that I talked about, if not for God, if not for the fact that I do not negotiate with what I know He's called me to do, most of these things that we're talking about, I won't do it. You can't convince me to go and do anything if not for that first step. It's all about God, and that's the only voice I listen. Nothing else. Nobody can move me, motivate me, or anything to push me to do anything. It's what I know that the Holy Spirit is convincing me to do. That's the only thing that's the only reason I get up to do whatever I do. Because if it's left to my devices, left to me myself, I'll talk myself out of it. I'm like, nah, I don't need to. But because of the bigger why, because of God. And that's my biggest why. I don't move except God says to me to move. I don't do anything. I may stumble, I may not hear it clearly, but if I'm convinced that I've done my conversation with God and that's what He says to me to do, I'll do it.
Yeah.
So I think that's a critical thing. When you're talking about your why, when you're putting everything in place, the core of your success has to be God. Jesus has to be the center. I know this is not a church service, but this is the reality of who I am, whose I am. God has to be the center. If God is not the center, if He doesn't build the house, they labor in vain that builds.
That's right.
So you got to know that that's where you start.
Yeah.
Whatever you're going to do, if God is not the core center, if that's not what's guiding you to make the move, everything you do, no matter how well intended, it's selfish and it's not going to bring you any reward when you get to heaven. Just saying.
That's right. So, a lot of us guys, this is an extension of ministry. This is ministry for us. So we're doing our work as if we're working unto God. We're being a good steward over our business because this is ministry. And it's like Jimmy said, I mean, it's all, we're doing it to the glory of God. So thank you, Tina, for that. Jimmy, thank you
so much, Tina. That was
that was powerful. Yeah, and being a giver, guys, is sowing. Y'all heard sowing, blessing the kingdom. That's my number one motivator there, to be a blessing to the kingdom. Jimmy and I, some of us, we have giving goals. We have giving goals. And so, you know, my goal is to be able to give $100,000 to the church, you know, and so my giving goals drive my business because now it's all kingdom minded. So that's all. Praise God. All right, guys. Any last hey Tony, I see Tony out there down in Tidewater, Virginia Beach area. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, yeah, I appreciate it. You know, and I was just thinking about, you know, just being a part of this. You know, I know I haven't jumped in every Friday, but you know, just hearing about the service, and that is an amazing, because that's why I got in real estate. You know, I had 6 years before I was going to retire from the military at Fort Houston, and I was thinking, what was I going to do? You know, and I heard somebody talk about real estate, even though I didn't know what that was. You know, but being a Christian, since 1980, the only thing that drives me is the Lord. So when I go out there, I'm not looking for the deals per se. I'm looking to service people. And just to give I worked with a client for 2 years.
Wow.
For 2 years.
Wow.
And you know, again, and you know, I had other business, but again, it's just about the service. It's about the service, you know. And I thank God for it, because that's what drives it. You know, the business that comes, it comes because of Him, you know. And then, yes, I do my advertising, I do all those things, but I know every card I put down, If they call me, it's because God allowed it.
Ooh, I love it.
Give him all the glory.
Amen.
All right, y'all. But I appreciate it, y'all, and all of y'all be blessed.
Thank you, Tony. You too,
Thank
brother.
you. Thank you.
All right.
Guys, this weekend we're gonna be celebrating mothers. I never like to miss an opportunity to plant a seed. I challenge everybody to bless as many mothers as you can this weekend.
Yeah.
Bless some mother, bless somebody. Bless somebody. Maybe you're having dinner next to somebody and you see them, you pay for their ticket or you pay for their meal. I mean, you bless somebody, send some flowers, send some edible arrangements. You know, how many people can you bless? That law of reciprocity, guys, you know, just being a blessing to somebody, it's going to come back to you.
Yes.
All right. Any closing? Linda? I saw Linda come off mute. Anybody?
I just said amen.
Amen. All right.
Amen.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out here. We appreciate you all so much. All our mothers and ladies on here, even if you're not a natural mother, you still have that mothering, caring spirit about you. So we just thank and appreciate each and every one of you all.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ladies.
Okay. Well, guys, have a great weekend. Is there anybody on for the EXP presentation? Okay. All right. Well, have a blessed weekend. Go take care of mama and that mother in your life. All right. Y'all have a blessed one.
Have a blessed one, guys.
Cheers.
Thank y'all.
Take care, everyone.
Okay.